Buenos dia, buenos dia. Wake up, wake up. This is Omni Cosmic. You already know. Fortification Friday. We made it. It's the fifth day of reading the Bible, which is good because I did go a long time without doing so. Realigning so I can come out here and share this information with you guys. So we're on chapter 11. This is where Saul rescues the city of Jebeth. So in this book, there are, I think, 28 chapters and 31. And then in book 2, there are like 24. So we're almost there, halfway. Again, buenos dia. I love you so much. My name is Omni Cosmic. Wake up, wake up. Here we discuss the Bible, spirituality, reconditioning, a mental soul to become one universe in your mind and your soul. This way you won't be misled, misguided, manipulated to giving your soul back up to being resurrected, period. There's no other reason why I'm doing this. Mainly for myself. So you have a choice to be blind when you die. And you have a choice to have knowledge when you die. Which one do you want? Because if you die blindly, you're gonna resurrect blindly. But if you die with knowledge and you understand where you're going, it doesn't matter how you die. It doesn't really matter. Because what dies is your physical, right? Doesn't really matter what you do in this world either, right? As long as you're in line. So this is why people do what they do. Do what thou wilt, right? Aleister Crowley. That's what it's all about in this world. It's not about going to church. It's not about either of those things. It's about having balance, period. Meaning feminine and male qualities should be in balance. That's your choice. Spiritually and soulfully, not, walking around wearing dresses and having beards. That has nothing to do with spirituality. It has nothing to do with your feminine side. Nothing at all. Female is female and male is a male. If you're able to acquire a relationship that's going to take you spiritually to the next level, you and her together as one, beautiful. That's what it's about. However, that's not the case. You have those qualities. Don't know if a lot of you men know this, but you were female before you became male. So you didn't have, external genitals. You grew those. You made a choice. Hi. Angela. Hello. Buenos dias. Love you so much. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'd like to give a shout out to somebody. I forgot their name because I haven't had the consistent followers. It's about love your soul, not your role. It's about mental, spiritual, and physical reconditioning. And we're using the Bible to read just to become aware of this part of our lives, right? That it's in our lives. The Bible's everywhere. Everyone buys it. Why not study it? Why not dissect it? Why not learn from it to see what it has to teach? The New Testament's amazing. It has some great stuff that you can learn. Like in, I haven't been there in a minute, but I think Psalms is one of them. There's even a Proverbs are amazing. Check that out. If you have children, if you have little babies that are growing up in this place, teach them the Bible. Read them the Old Testament so that they can see. Thank you. I appreciate you, Angela. So that they can see with their first eye. A lot of people in the metaphysical community call it, it's your third eye. No, it's not. These are used to observe. This is your first eye. Then what you observe, you intake. All that stuff is created here, right? In here, somewhere in there. I don't know where, but you got to figure out medulla oblongata, your pituitary gland. They're physical And so once you know that, once you know basically the anatomy of your body, and you begin to listen to your body, I love your soul, not your role. That's what that means. Be a listener. Here, I always used to like to say, I don't say it anymore because I haven't been here, but we listen twice and we speak once. It's very important that you do all types of observations. I'm an old man. Like, I don't even know how old I am. I don't. I was born this month a long time ago. I don't subscribe to happy birthdays. I don't subscribe to celebrations because celebrations are rituals to keep you in that same circle. So I don't do that. But yeah, I was born this month a long, long time ago. A long time ago. Long, long. I was born in the 1900s. I love it. Okay, so today's Fortification Friday. Buenos dias, buenos dias. Welcome. If you haven't been here before, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. My name is Cosmic. Of course, that's a name that I pulled from the ether, or the ether gave to me. Tips for entering adulthood. Listen, just live. Be kind to yourself first. Love yourself first. Care for yourself first. And then you'll be able to give that to others. Other people don't matter in your life. Whoever comes into your life, whoever is in your life, will either be eliminated or will only be there for a short period of time. Hello, Logan. Pleasure to meet you. So those things will catapult you in any direction that you allow to happen. I'm an empath, right? So things have been done to me. You know, that's right. Good statement. To all the children of God, hello. I like that. Thank you so much for that statement. That's really good. I like that. Yeah. Just live life, be humble, appreciate what you have, appreciate yourself, appreciate getting up in the morning. Take some time, take time. It's all you have to experience life. Following trends and social media, that's your life is going to be, oh, you're 10. What are you doing here? This is an adult channel, by the way. So God bless this 10-year-old. India, what's up, India? I always get folks from India because I think it's like 5 o'clock there, right? If I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's get into it. Fortification Friday. So basically what we do is I read those to you. And then I have a app that reads the Bible to you. I'm not going to do that part. I was doing it, but it just took a little longer for me to do it. 4:41, close. Okay, so let's do the affirmation first. There it is. Wrote it out a long time ago. It's been there. Haven't changed it. Haven't updated it at all. But it works for me. I'm just sharing. Okay, here we go. Bye. Have a good day. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Okay, check it out. I am building a strong foundation for my mind and body today. Not waiting for tomorrow, just because either you have to keep moving forward spiritually. You can't stay stuck. Oh, I'm sick. Get that out of your mind. Negativity should not be part of your daily routine, however it is, because it's part of life. Negativity and positivity, yin and yang, all the same, right? That symbol was not for 666. I just happened to do it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, he threw up the 666. Anyway, so I choose to reinforce my boundaries, protect my peace, and finish this week with resilience. I am not just enduring the day. I am fortifying my spirit for the rest of enjoy. What is that? For the rest and joy that lies ahead. Okay, got it. I haven't read this one since last Friday. I have the power to stay steady, focused, and calm amidst the noise. So that's another thing. Another thing is to be if you can be the same individual in terms of thoughts, responses in any situation, you're in full control. However, it is very difficult to do so, but it can be done because I've done it, and woof, it's not easy. It is not easy, but it can be done with practice. Take practice and routine. Get up in the morning, thank you, Father God. Whoever you believe to be your spirit guide or whatever the case may be, meditate on that and say, this day is yours. You take this day, and basically you're talking to yourself, but that's okay because you got that power. And then run your day. Focus on your day. Don't focus on the future. Yesterday's gone. The future ain't even here yet. Who knows if you're going to wake up tomorrow or whatever's going to happen to you. But as long as you fortify your soul, you good. You're good. You don't got to go to no light. You don't got to sign a contract or whatever the case may be. You can keep your memory and you can just keep on going. Inertia. Keep it moving. That's what music is all about as well. If you ever hear music, is about movement. Music is movement. That's why, they have verses and you have one universe. It's all wordplay in the English language. All right, so we got that one. That's great. Friday's often a day where energy dips or stress peaks. To truly fortify yourself this morning, try to secure your boundaries. Be clear about what you can realistically finish before the clock runs out. So set micro, I think they're trying to call them micro, like micro affirmations and micro daily goals. Small little goals, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be anything, I'm going to save the world. You're not, save yourself. Because that's all you can do. Everyone's not from the same place. You don't know that, of course. A lot of people don't know that. Your soul is not from the same place. You are currently in hell. Wake up, wake up. Okay, acknowledge your wins. Fortification comes from recognizing your own strength. Name one thing you handled well this week. One thing. It doesn't have to involve anyone or any situation. It could just be about you. Well, today I did conquered this about me. So there's been a lot of health issues that what's up, Aaron King? How you doing, brother? Aaron King, Timo, or sister, whatever. Buenos dias. Fortification comes from recognizing your own strengths. Name them. Name one thing you handled well this week. Prepare your space. Clear off your desk or prep one thing for Monday so you can truly log off later. Take 3 deep breaths after saying this affirmation. Inhale strength, exhale the week's clutter. So inhale strength, strength. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, out the window. Done. There it is. Gone. Just that easy. All you have to do is have that knowing that you just did that, and it's not going to change unless you change it. Okay, that's done. We're about to get to my favorite part in a minute. So this is today's quote of the day. Or I'll just read this one. I have a couple of them, but this is from Archilochus or Chilicus. I don't know. There's his name right there. That guy. You think he's just a philosopher? I'll figure it out. I'll write it down. I did that the other day. I don't know if you can read cursive, but I'm looking up these guys this weekend. All right, here we go. What's this guy's name? Review. Archilo. Okay, I can't even say that. Archie. Archie. What's up, Archie? Louchus. That's an R. All right, so here's the quote. Check it out. We do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. That's a great quote. So we do not rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. So depending how much you trained, you're going to fall to that, not to an expectation. Love it. We could break that down if you want, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to go straight to my favorite part. Poem time. So the title of the poem is The Bastion's Eve. All right, here we go. The shadows stretch across the office floor. The heavy latch is pulled upon the door. The week was long, a siege of task and time, a weary mountain that we had to climb. But now the sun begins in golden dip, and phantom anchors loosen the ship. Reinforce the spirit, brace the mind, leave the echoes of the soil behind. We build our walls of quiet, soft, and deep, of slow brewed coffee and heavy sleep. Wake up, wake up. This is my favorite part. I love poems. This is not a poem, it's a limerick, but I don't know. I just like words and that have some kind of emotional and type of mental. Hey, Steven, what's up, man? Steven, some bum bum. What? Because it helps you think, about the poem. When you read a poem for the first time, you try to dissect it. What does this mean? It always has different meanings for everybody. That's why I like them. So this can mean something totally different to you than what it does to me when I wrote it. A long time ago, and I revamped it with Gemini AI helped me revamp it. Thank you for the like. I appreciate you. Okay, no deadline fires can scale these garden walls. No urgent ringing echoes through these halls. This is the night we fortify the soul to make the fractured pieces feel once whole. With books for bricks and laughter for the lime, we build a fortress out of stolen time. So rest your shield and let your banner fall, for Friday stands the strongest of them all. There you go. Like that one? I like that one. I'll read it again next Friday. All right, so we are done. Happy Fortification Friday. Fortify your soul. So this end of week, you can rock and roll without the spirits for your soul. You feel me? All right, here we go. So this is Saul Rescue City of Jabbeth. Let's see what's going on in this one. So I go to this. I'm going to read it to you. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. And that's like a quote from this YouVersion Bible app that I have. So I press here, like I always show you. There we are, chapter 13. I'm in NIV. You can always click here and choose whichever version you appreciate. Okay. All right. So he's going to read it. And then if I have comments, maybe not because it's kind of late. I'm running into the half hour. I started a little late today, but that's good. I had someone on here yesterday said to me, hey, what happened to your voice? Because they've been following me for a while. And I want to give a shout out to Molchi Dolce. She was one of the, and still is one of the first followers. She's from England, right? She said hello yesterday. I said hi, which was really nice. So hello, Molchi Dolce. Okay, here we go. Samuel rebukes Saul. This is the first verse.
1 Samuel chapter 13. Saul was 30 years old when he became king, and he reigned over Israel for 42 years. Saul chose 3,000 men from Israel, 2,000 were with him at Michmash in the hill country of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan at Gibeah in Benjamin. The rest of the men he sent back to their homes. Jonathan attacked the Philistine outpost at Geba, and the Philistines heard about it. Then Saul had the trumpet blown throughout the land and said, "Let the Hebrews hear." So all Israel heard the news. Saul has attacked the Philistine outpost, and now Israel has become obnoxious to the Philistines. And the people were summoned to join Saul at Gilgal. The Philistines assembled to fight Israel with 3,000 chariots, 6,000 charioteers, and so.
So if you read the Old Testament, you'll get it. They've been fighting forever. Except today they're using you as their soldiers. And you don't even know what it's all about. You don't, because you didn't read the Bible. They read it to you to manipulate you to believe these things so that you can serve them and not yourself, not your soul. And they know this. They study you. They've been studying you forever. So study yourself, Study yourself. That's all you can do. Share what you've learned. I'm not a scholar. I didn't go to school for, reading the Bible. But that's what I did. I've been to churches, been to many types of different religions. I got a ton of religious books that I've read. None of them make sense to me. I've been pursued by the devil all my life. All my life. I've never had a dream that was good. They were all nightmares. I used to have so many nightmares, I used to think that they were dreams until somebody gave me a clear distinction. No, that's not a dream. That's a nightmare. I was like, what? Yeah. So believe that I got experience in all that. I'm not just coming on here, talking ish just to be, get a like. I'm not doing that for that reason. I don't need YouTube for finances. I don't need them doing this because, the Almighty said, hey, man, it's up to you now. Right? Just like a lot of men from my era are very emotional, extremely emotional. Most of us didn't grow up with a father to show us how to be, a man, right? So you had to learn that on your own. And then the type of man that you learned how to be from the city was the incorrect one, right? Because it was the pimps, the hoes, the gangsters. That's what you followed. Because you didn't have anyone else. They didn't give you anybody else. And they took away what you were. Whatever it might have been that, your father got, how he got into trouble, but he got it. And, you're the end result. An emotional man can't control his emotions. Look at what's going on with men. Men are extremely emotional nowadays. I used to be extremely emotional too, just a couple of months ago. I'm not even joking. And to be able to observe the thought process that happens when you're in that heightened state of fight or flight is interesting. But if you can control it, it's, the results will be totally different because it's something that you've never done. You've never allowed life to live. You always wanted to control every single scenario. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. And then it ended up folding in on you. I know. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt, burned it in the bonfire. All right, here we go.
Soldiers as numerous as the sand on the seashore. They went up and camped at Michmash, east of Bethaven. When the Israelites saw that their situation was critical and that their army was hard pressed, they hid in caves and thickets among the rocks and in pits and cisterns. Some Hebrews even crossed the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. Saul remained at Gilgal, and all the troops with him were quaking with fear. He waited for 7 days, the time set by Samuel. But Samuel did not come to Gilgal, and Saul's men began to scatter. So he said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the fellowship offerings." And Saul offered up the burnt offering. Just as he finished making the offering, Samuel arrived, and Saul went out to greet him. "What have you done?" asked Samuel. Saul replied, "When I saw that the men were scattering, and that you did not come at the set time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, I thought, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal, and I have not sought the Lord's favor. So I felt compelled to offer the burnt offering. Oh, you have done a foolish thing, Samuel said. You have not kept the command the Lord your God gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. But now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and appointed him ruler of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command. Then Samuel left Gilgal, and went up to Gibeah in Benjamin. And Saul counted the men who were with him. They numbered about 600. Saul and his son Jonathan, and the men with them, were staying at Gibeah of Benjamin, while the Philistines camped at Michmash.
Here's where I'm confused, right? Because I'm reading this thing, and my parents, their parents followed this Old Testament. You know how they followed it and why they followed it? Out of fear. He's telling you, oh, look at all these crazy things happening. And if you do all these crazy things and you continue to do all these crazy things like these people did, this is what's going to happen to you. But I'm going to forgive you. But you're not part of this tribe. You're not Israelite, right? So does it pertain to you? No, because this is a historical lesson. Teaches, supposedly, whoever wrote it, most of them apostles are unknown authors. How does that sit with you? Oh, the Bible was written by God, was given to the word. Sure. So this is an ongoing theme in the Old Testament. They get kicked out, they go to another place, they get another king, they get kicked out, they go to another place. They still continue to disrespect and sin against their Lord till today. Love-hate relationship, hate-love relationship, I don't know. But it is completely confusing to read this and then read the New Testament. You will be thrown off completely. You should be thrown off. So I just wonder why these people were following this stuff. Like, my people going, yeah, and Pentecostal, you know what they do? They fearmonger. Eres pentecostal. Vete para la iglesia pentecostal para que tú veas cómo te meten miedo. That's all they do. They scare you into submission to give them money so that they can be your intermediary with God so that you can be saved for your sins. Are you serious? Don't make no sense. But because you're spiritually broken, mentally broken, they can do whatever they want with you. And you will be okay with it.
Raiding parties went out from the Philistine camp in 3 detachments. One turned towards Ophrah in the vicinity of Shual, another towards Beth-horon, and the third towards the borderland overlooking the valley of Zeboim, facing the wilderness. Not a blacksmith could be found in the whole land of Israel, because the Philistines had said, otherwise the Hebrews will make swords and spears. So all Israel went down to the Philistines to have their plowshares, mattocks, axes, and sickles sharpened. The price was 2/3 of a shekel for sharpening plowshares and mattocks, and 1/3 of a shekel for sharpening forks and axes, and for repointing goads. So on the day of the battle, not a soldier with Saul and Jonathan had a sword or spear in his hand. Only Saul and his son Jonathan had them. Now a detachment of Philistines had gone out to the pass at Michmash. 1 Samuel chapter 14. One day, Jonathan, son of Saul, said to his young armor-bearer, come, let's go over to the Philistine outpost on the other side. But he did not tell his father. Saul was staying on the outskirts of Gibeah, under a pomegranate tree in Migron. With him were about 600 men, among whom was Ahijah, who was wearing an ephod. He was a son of Ichabod's brother, Ahitub, son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the Lord's priest in Shiloh. No one was aware that Jonathan had left.
If you don't know those names, if you read I think it's the previous book, right? It's there, like John, Judges, Joshua. Read those. You'll figure out who those folks are.
On each side of the pass that Jonathan intended to cross to reach the Philistine outpost was a cliff. One was called Bozez, and the other Sinai. One cliff stood to the north towards Michmash, the other to the south towards Geba. Jonathan said to his young armor-bearer, "Come, let's go over to the outpost of those uncircumcised men. Perhaps the Lord will act on our behalf. Nothing can hinder the Lord from saving, whether by..."
Well, what does it matter? This dude just said, let's go amongst those uncircumcised men. What the freak is he talking about? He's about to go into war, and he's talking about their uncircumcised. Wake up. Oh, yeah, by the way, so for men that aren't circumcised, right? And, because I was there, I had that, right? And, there's certain things that you should be doing to that certain part of your body to keep it healthy. Don't get that stuff cut off, because it's there for a reason, right? But you have to be able to adjust, and adjusting to that is very difficult. But I can teach you how to do that if you need to know, how do you get past that pain, in that area, right? So usually they cut it off, but these folks bite it off. This foreskin, right? That's for another day. But if you need to know, if you're a young man and you're going through this growth spurt, right, of pain down there, when I went through that, it took me about maybe 2 months. It was painful, but I did it. It was necessary. So anyway, I don't know why he's saying that. He's about to go to war. He's like, yeah, let's go amongst these uncircumcised. What? I would look at him like, dude, here we go.
Many, by few. Do all that you have in mind, his armor-bearer said. Go ahead. I am with you, heart and soul. Jonathan said, "Come on then. We will cross over towards them and let them see us. If they say to us, 'Wait there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are and not go up to them. But if they say, 'Come up to us,' we will climb up, because that will be our sign that the Lord has given them into our hands." So both of them showed themselves to the Philistine outpost. "Look," said the Philistines, "the Hebrews are crawling out of the holes they were hiding in." The men of the outpost shouted to Jonathan and his armor-bearer, "Come up to us and we'll teach you a lesson." So Jonathan said to his armor-bearer, "Climb up after me. The Lord has given them into the hand of Israel." Jonathan climbed up using his hands and feet, with his armor-bearer right behind.
There are folks in this world that argue the semantics of the texts of these scriptures, right? That's all they do. All they do is argue about the words. They don't talk about, but it says here, and this is what later for you, because this is not a literal, like this book portion of the movement of the Israelites. Yeah, you can take that for whatever you want. Look at what's going on today. It's the same thing that was going on back then. So that's basically what's going on in the Old Testament. They're living in the Old Testament still. And you don't know, you've never even read the Old Testament. And we're doing it now. But the more I read it, the more enlightened I become. The more I practice it, the more less intrigued I am, I gotta say. But again, there's some good stuff in the New Testament with CA, right? But look up the word religion. Look up it means to regulate. But you don't know that. Again, the American language has been used with all types of languages: Latin, German, Danish. So one word means 1,000 things. And again, the truth is never the truth until if you find it out for yourself.
The Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor-bearer followed and killed behind him. In that first attack, Jonathan and his armor-bearer killed some 20 men in an area of about half an acre. Then panic struck the whole army, those in the camp and field and those in the outposts and raiding parties, and the ground shook. It was a panic sent by God.
So the dude on the other side would have thought differently. That didn't happen like that. Y'all ran, and we chased you. But the story is in the hands of the victor, right? The loser can't tell the story. You can't. You lost. That's natural law, right? Because you got, even animals know that. Even animals bow down to the row. I say, okay, you got, you know more than me. I can't go up against you. But then you learn. He left you, or the animal left you alive. So you observe and you learn that possibly there'll be a time when you're going to be able to overtake that power that has been over you all this time. Maybe not. Maybe you'll die in the process. But you had the courage to make the choice. I'm not doing this no more. This lion's pushing me around, yo. So that's when little baby cubs come. They grow up, take out OG. OG's, he's sent off to the hills and he's just looking on the outskirts until he dies.
Saul's lookouts at Gibeah in Benjamin saw the army melting away in all directions. Then Saul said to the men who were with him, "Muster the forces and see who has left us." When they did, it was Jonathan and his armor-bearer who were not there. Saul said to Ahijah, "Bring the ark of God." At that time it was with the Israelites. While Saul was talking to the priest, the tumult in the Philistines.
Like 3 or 4 books ago, it was stolen from them. But it doesn't tell you how they got it back. I don't think so.
Camp increased
I think it did.
more and more. So Saul said to the priest, "Withdraw your hand." Then Saul and all his men assembled and went to the battle. They found the Philistines in total confusion, striking each other with their swords. Those Hebrews who had previously been with the Philistines and had gone up with them to their camp went over to the Israelites who were with Saul and Jonathan. When all the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard that the Philistines were on the run, they joined the battle in hot pursuit. So on that day, the Lord saved Israel, and the battle moved on beyond Beth-aven. Now the Israelites were in distress that day, because Saul had bound the people under an oath, saying, "Cursed be anyone who eats food before evening comes, before I have avenged myself on my enemies." So none of the troops tasted food. The entire army entered the woods, and there was honey on the ground. When they went into the woods, they saw the honey oozing out. Yet no one put his hand to his mouth because they feared the oath. But Jonathan had not heard that his father had bound the people with the oath. So he reached out the end of the staff that was in his hand and dipped it into the honeycomb. He raised his hand to his mouth, and his eyes brightened. Then one of the soldiers told him, "Your father bound the army under a strict oath, saying, 'Cursed be anyone who eats food today.' That is why the men are faint." Jonathan said, "My father has made trouble for the country. See how my eyes brightened when I tasted a little of this honey. How much better it would have been if the men had eaten today some of the plunder they took from their enemies. Would not the slaughter of the Philistines have been even greater?" That day, after the Israelites had struck down the Philistines from Michmash to Ajalon, they were exhausted. They pounced on the plunder, and taking sheep, cattle, and calves, they butchered them on the ground and ate them, together with the blood. Then someone said to Saul, "Look, the men are sinning against the Lord by eating meat that has blood in it." "You have broken faith," he said. "Roll a large stone over here at once." Then he said, "Go out among the men and tell them, 'Each of you bring me your cattle and sheep and slaughter them here and eat them. Do not sin against the Lord by eating meat with blood still in it.'" So everyone brought his ox that night and slaughtered it there. Then Saul built an altar to the Lord. It was the first.
So it's mandated, as you can see, do not eat, do not consume meat with blood in it. Where's the nutrition? In the meat, it's already dead. The blood doesn't flow anymore. So vampirism is alive and well. They're still doing it. Donate blood companies. You guys ever see that movie? Damn, what's the name of that movie? Blade, the series Blade. Even read the comics Blade. Vampirism is alive and well, but they code it. If you can see how they think about your mental prowess is by watching television. They have animals as cartoons selling you products. They give you jokes. They're showing you the level of thought that they have tried to make you have, right? Like limited, like, ha ha ha, you're laughing like a little child when you watch these commercials and you buy these products and you never read the fine print. They know that was going to happen because that's how they made you. That's how they indoctrinated you to do things out of emotion. I don't know what's going on here, so somebody's about to die. That's what I know.
He had done this. Saul said,
What?
Let us go down and pursue the Philistines by night and
Told
plunder
you.
them till dawn, and let us not leave one of them alive.
I knew it.
Do whatever seems best to you, they replied. But the priest said, Let us inquire of God here. So Saul asked God, Shall I go down and pursue the Philistines? Will you give them into Israel's hand?
Yeah.
But God did not answer him that day. Saul therefore said, Come here, all you who are leaders of the army, and let us find out what sin has been committed today. As surely as the Lord who rescues Israel lives, even if the guilt lies with my son Jonathan, he must die. But not one of them said a word.
Of course not.
Saul then said to all the Israelites, You stand over there. I and Jonathan my son will stand over here. Do what seems best to you, they replied. Then Saul prayed to the Lord, the God of Israel. Why have you not answered your servant today? If the fault is in me or my son Jonathan, respond with Urim. But if the men of Israel are at fault,
I don't know what Urim is, but I'm gonna look it up. This is verse 41. I mean, I could do that now, but I'm running short on time, so here we go. Respond with Urim, but if the men of Israel are at fault, respond with Thummim. Double M. See, we're studying it together. It's not like I know this stuff. I don't know this stuff, but I am aware of where it comes from and why it's here.
respond with Thummim. Jonathan and Saul were taken by lot, and the men were cleared. Saul said, Cast a lot between me and Jonathan my son. And Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, Tell me what you have done. So Jonathan told him, I tasted a little honey with the end of my staff, and now I must die. Saul said, May God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if you do not die, Jonathan. But the men said to Saul, Should Jonathan die? He who has brought about this great deliverance in Israel? Never. As surely as the Lord lives, not a hair of his head shall fall to the ground, for he did this today with God's help. So the men rescued Jonathan, and he was not put to death. Then Saul stopped pursuing the Philistines, and they withdrew to their own land. After Saul had assumed rule over Israel, he fought against their enemies on every side: Moab, the Ammonites, Edom, the kings of Zobah, and the Philistines. Wherever
they've been fighting forever and they're not going to stop.
he turned, he inflicted punishment on them. He fought valiantly and defeated the Amalekites, delivering Israel from the hands of those who had plundered them. Saul's sons were Jonathan, Ishvi, and Malchishua. The name of his elder daughter was Merab, and that of the younger was Michal. His wife's name was Ahinoam, daughter of Ahimaaz. The name of the commander of Saul's army was Abner, son of Ner, and Ner was Saul's uncle. Saul's father, Kish, and Abner's father, Ner, were sons of Abiel. All the days of Saul there was bitter war with the Philistines, and whenever Saul saw a mighty or brave man, he took him into his service.
Okay, that's a wrap. Here we are on number 15. So we did read 11, 12, 13, and 14. Not bad. 14 was pretty long. All right, there you go. Death and destruction. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will finish this in due time. I'm going to get some more information for mañana es Sabbath, right? If you're religious or that's complicated, but I'll see you tomorrow. Happy Fortification Friday. Do it to it. Love your soul, not your role. Wake up, wake up.